What's up, guys? Dope Randy back at it again with another race from the Surfer Racing League. This time it's the final race in the round of 12 from Richmond International Raceway. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. So, as you can see here, we're going to do this Richmond race. This is the last race in the round of 12, like I just said. Now, coming into this race, I had a 15-point gap over 8th place, which is Creeple in the 7. In the Virginia 529 250. And so I can't just, I can't just phone this race in. I have to actually race. I'm tied with the 22 of Shore Park, and there were several guys behind me who felt like they could get a really good core here. So yeah, I can't just phone it in. I can't just waste this. Even though I had the most points to work with, I still have to perform, because you never know what's going to happen. Like, I still need to have a good race. Now, in order to have a good race, the first thing you need to do is to qualify well. And I put myself in a good position. I'm starting second. I do get pit box number 2. Or pit stall number 2. Whatever you want to say. And I'm just trying to get down pit road without screwing anybody up, as I get pounded. So I'm going to have to drop it in here deep and just swing it on the pit road. And that works out fine. But yeah, the key to a good qualifying is to put it as good as you can. Oh, I felt like. So we're going to do 4 tiles and 2 cans. By the way, there's 19 drivers in this field. Everyone in the playoffs is in this race, as they should be, as you know.
Clear up top.
And
Car outside.
So yeah, I come out of the pits for my qualifying time, and me and Majel, who are both in the playoffs, I think we're trying to get it straightened out as to see who's going to go ahead of the other. Now, I know Major Spy is faster than me, because he keeps beating on me, trying to get around me. And we have 10 laps, which is more than usual.
Car outside. Top is clear.
Maverick kind of holds me up a little bit, but I get a 21.341, which is okay. I feel like I could go faster.
Right there.
As Maverick is right in my line that I want to run. And I don't want to bulldoze anyone out of the way in qualifying. And besides, I feel like we got time with 5 laps. As I just decided to get a little careless and just ram myself into the apron, basically. Now that could have been the best. That was probably a good thing, because I'm going to get me some space right here. So I'm just gonna follow what those three are doing. I still can't run that 3, and I keep screwing it up every time, and I don't like that. Like at Richmond, you want to clip the bottom of the track in turn 1 and turn 3. You make a wide arc going into it.
Still there.
But that is something I cannot do at the moment, because God knows why.
Carlo.
This Maverick goes, I get around Maverick, and I'm going to get one more extra lap at this. So I can't squander it, but then I just completely lose it coming at a 1. And that's pretty much a throwaway. And now it seems like I'm just running this lap just cuz. As I get a 48. And I feel like that is not going to be good enough for the pole. As I feel like the 11 of Major and the 9 of Scout were a lot faster than me. And I mean, you don't need to be in the top first or second row to have a good qualifying session. I was just trying to qualify ahead of all the other chase guys. And if you noticed, some guys did not get good qualifying results at all. And I was kind of feeling excited. So here's the moment of truth. Like, I'm just hoping for a good qualifying run. And I get 6th. At a 21.34. The pole, as you can see, was a 21.09. And at this point, considering all the people, where everyone was, I was feeling okay. As you said, we had 3 chasers had to started at the back of the field for lag and stuff like that, which was huge. That was huge, as we all do in the Virginia 529 250. That is the night race, ladies and gentlemen. And as I say, this is the last race. My game plan going into this, I had the most amount of cushion towards the good, but it wasn't anything that was safe or anything like that. Like, it was still 15 points. And if I do a terrible race, then there goes my chances. So like I always say, don't get involved in the crashes, and that is very important as of right now, because it could mean the difference between going in and going out, as Creeper washes up the track. Remember, I started 6th, and so I let Hunty go, and then Grace just gives me a shot, and I make a move to go down to the track. And so now I feel like I'm in a good spot. So I'm going to get around Grease with P6, just rolling the bottom. And then Hunty, I think he hits T-Mills. He hit T-Mills. And I'm going to get around him for P5. And the 51 of Matt's, he's gonna get around me and Grease. But But then Hunty goes up the apron, and I think Grease gets into Matt's for a minute,
Clear all around.
and I go back into P5. And so now I'm just trying to work my way up through this little mess.
Easy. Hold your line, Carlo.
As Matt just gives me a little bump and run. And I did not appreciate that when it was live, because I was kind of fighting for a playoff spot here. And being roughed up was the last thing I wanted. As Grease lets us go for P5. And then Matt lets me go for P4. And I'm going to let those two battle each other out.
That was a great lap.
I mean, they were fast, but it's... looking back on it, it's all good, because I meant to talk about the track in itself, which we are at Richmond. And you want to be on the bottom line at all cost. And
Faster out there. Great
if
lap.
you don't, you're going to be in a world of trouble. So I was literally just hucking the bottom, waiting until, I mean, you gotta hook the bottom and just pray that someone's gonna mess up. So I think I'm solidly in 4th place. I'm not fast enough to catch, I don't think I'm fast enough to catch 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And now I can't forget about Matt's back there in P5, cause the way I got around him was he shot up the track on accident. And if he comes back to my bumper, he's probably gonna get around me, because I'm not feeling that fast at the moment. But it's on default, so it's all good. So I'm really just trying not to choke this. Good result. Because I felt like if I can just hang on here for the 4th, then I could probably advance into the next round just fine and dandy. But then here comes Mayo and Major are battling for 2nd place in this stage. As I'm just chilling, waiting, and hoping they make a mistake. But I know those two won't. And I was pretty happy with myself right here, because I was actually kind of pulling away from the 51 in 5th place. So that was good.
You're hitting your mark. Great lap.
But as you can see, Mayo starting to drive away a little bit from Major. And then I'm kind of starting to reel him in, or I want to reel him in. But then me hitting the wall right there pretty much, or kind of, just ended it. But no, this was just strung out. And that was a kind of a theme for this race. I mean, there'd be like a pack somewhere on the track, but other than that, everyone would just be strung out. And that's typically not like Richmond at all. But it's whatever. It's probably was the best thing needed. Everyone was trying to fight to get in. And I do have the results from the round of 12. So if you stick around at the end of this video, I will tell you who got in and who did not. As we got 1 lap to go in this stage. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Hashtag cheap plug. I basically I can't catch them, so I'm just gonna chill. Now Major goes down pit road to be the first guy to be forced on the restart, and I don't blame him. And for me, that's really good, because now I'm going to be third in the first stage, and I will take a P3 any day of the week in the first stage. And considering what happened with everybody else, you see some chase guys didn't even get in to get stage points, and I got an automatic +7 on everybody, or 8. Yeah, a +8 on everyone. So I like it. And so as we wait for the people who pitted under the last lap of green, we restart in 7th. Again, just don't crash the thing.
Stay sharp. Green coming. The race is going green.
That's the move.
All right.
But as you can see,
Stay right there.
it's starting to get a little crazy as the 39 hits the 19, who hits the 88, and then I get involved in this. And so 3 chasers, me, the 19 of Rockstall, who already won the last race at Watkins Glen. If you didn't see it, you can go back on the channel and watch it. So he's already locked in. This really don't matter to him. But me and Mail, we both got taken out in that, which is the last thing you want in a situation like this.
That was a great lap.
And so my stage 2 is ruined, which sucks, because I was going to get another good stage result. And I felt like if I got a good result in the stage, in the second stage, I'd kind of be locked into the playoff, into the round of 8. And I wouldn't have to worry about trying to get a good finish. But now all of a sudden, I'm going to have to try to get the best finish I can in stage 3. And so now this is the part of the race where it's pretty much going to be a little boring. I'm sorry about that, but it's all good. It'll go by quick. It's 11 laps. But now as you'll see, I know what I was talking about. As you will see, this car gets extremely loose, especially the later we go on into the run. Like already, it's the back end wants to kick around a little bit, as Luke Riley 69, who basically had to win this race, goes around spinning, and that's pretty much a GG. So I'm now in 15th, and as you can see, I'm catching Rockstar and Hollingsworth up there for 14th and 13th. The bad part about that is it's not for 11th and 10th.
That was a great lap.
As we got 8 laps to go in this stage,
Right there.
as Rockstar tries to chop block me a little bit,
Stay on the bottom. Hold your line.
and we're just trying to be really cautious here, because the last thing the two of us need is another crash. As I get around Rockstar for P14. And I'm going to drive away from him, and my next target is going to be Hollingsworth in the number 12, who was also in the chase, who as of right now would be eliminated. As I'm trying to go down, as I kind of mess up the 19 a little bit, I'm sorry about that. As I'm trying to get too cute, and I just clip the apron that one little bit, it's going to send everyone into a frenzy.
Alright, we're halfway this lap.
So I'm just thinking, Lord, the last thing we need is to spin the core out, because A, I would lose any hope I have getting a stage point, because you know people's going to pit at the end of the stage. We're just in 4 laps. And B, you're taking the chance of getting lapped. And if you get lapped, that would be the last thing you need if you're trying to move on into the next round. So 3 laps to go. With all that said, because here I say all that, but the Leidos are probably like 8 to 10 seconds behind me. And if I spin, that's easily enough time for them to get around me. As Hollingsworth washes up the track. And that's just going to be an easy little get beside of them. And then just pass them in the turn 3. Wash them up a little bit. And then just drop that bitch off. As we got 1 lap to go in the stage. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Hashtag cheap plug. At this point I'm just praying that some people's gonna come down pit road. Hopefully they come down pit road. As you see, 1 does, 2 does, and 3 cars come down pit road. But the problem with that is, literally, I couldn't get to them in time. Because the 10th place car, which was Maverick in the 07, already crossed the start finish line. So that sucked. But it's whatever. And so coming into stage 3, this is going to determine who gets in and who goes out. I have to drive this stage as good as I can, because like I feel like I should be in, but I mean, you know, you can't take anything for granted. So I'm literally just gonna try to drive this thing, and as I make a plan, I'm gonna tuck in behind someone as we get into a big crash. And that move probably just saved me from going into the next round. I pretty much just used Skullman as a wall in the middle of turn 3. Because if it wasn't for him, I was spinning. As several chasers got into crashes. As everyone was just being too aggressive at the beginning of stage 3. Way too aggressive. And just took each other out. And I just tried to fight through it. And I did a good job at that. I did a really good job at it. As you can see, like it's all good. I used the 41 as a barrier to drift off of in turn 3. As of now, I'm just going to try to get around these guys. Because after that, I feel like I can get up there. as I'm up to 8th, getting around Skullman, who is not in the chase. Now, if I... At this point, I feel like I'm going to be in the chase. At this point, I do. Because I see 7th ahead of me. By the way, this Wild Red, he got trapped a lap down. Which sucks for him. So he's going to get a shout out just because he deserves one. But as you can see on the leaderboard, Grease is in P7. That's that green number 28. And then Cowboys is that 16 white and red machine. And then that yellow and white number 88. That's male. 6th and 5th all in the chase. 7th is not in the chase, as Grease just washes up the track. And I think, and so does the 39, or I think they both realize what I'm fighting for here. As I give 39 just a little bump, and we go around both of them. And I'm up to 7th now, which is great. So, there was one regret I kept feeling about this race as the race went on into the final laps. And it's the fact that I feel like I wasn't taking care of my tires. As we got 13 laps to go, and I'm catching Cowboys like a mother. And like I said, I'm driving this thing probably a little too hard. And you'll see why in several laps, as we got 12 laps to go. As Cowboys goes up the track, lets me go around for P6. And I'm just gonna drive away. But if you saw one of my videos from yesterday, it was the Days of Thunder at Xfinity at Richmond. And you saw, and I made a point in stage 3 that I just have to take care of my stuff for the first part of stage 3, and then for the final half of stage 3, I could go as hard as I want to, and I'll be just along with everybody else. Well, I wish I had that belief in today, because in stage 1, in the first half of stage 3, I tried pushing the car as hard as I can, just trying to get away from everyone, as I'm literally just trying to get into a good spot so I can move on into the next round, as we got 8 laps to go. And this is when it starts to become a problem, as you should not be drifting into the turns here. As we're gonna get now 7 laps to go. But the thing is, I'm pulling away from Cowboys. Just slightly, though. Or you will see, whenever I was starting to slide like this, I was slow as Christmas, as I just screwed that up big time. And it's going to allow Shore Park in the 22 to get around Cowboys for P8. P7. And now I gotta deal with Sharp, who me and him are tied going into this race. And I just do not have the grip at all to fight this. Yes, we got 4 laps to go. And the Sharp clips the apron just a touch. And he gets a terrible exit. As I'm literally just trying not to put much steering input into the piece. As these guys are much faster. My car is way too loose. I'm just trying to survive. A top 5 is gone at this point.
Almost there.
As we got 2 laps to go. I mean, anytime you can see the door number, that is not good. As Sharp is just going to get around me.
Stay right there. Carlo.
I try to fight, but then I realize if me and him both crash,
Just one more.
we might not advance into the next round. So I try to fight, but the car just can't do it. The car can't handle it. And I'm just going to let him go. As we come off the final turn, sponsored by Credit One Bank, #cheap plug, I'm going to bring her home 7th. And that was really, really good. As I can now announce who is in the round of 8. Which would be the 9 of Scout Bonk. Which would be the 11 of Major Spy. Which would be the 19 of Rockstar. And then coming in as the 4th seed, your boy, in the number 6, Randy, aka Dope Randy, aka the guy you've been listening to. And then in the 5th seed, the guy you see on my screen right in front of me, Sharp in the 22. And then you get the 60 of Hunty. And then you get the 88 of Mail Coop in P7. And then rounding out the field is T Mills, who had to have a good ass race just to advance. I think he finished 3rd. Good shit for him. And the people not advancing is Creeple, which was a shock because I figured he'd be up towards the championship. Creeple, Hollingsworth, and the 12, who you saw crash in stage 3 and said forget it. The 16 of Cowboys, and the 20 of Luke Riley. They did not advance to the next round. So, with that said, we're going to go in the round of 8. This is what I wanted. It's all good. The first race in the round of 8 is Texas Motor Speedway. If you saw my other Xfinity video from the other league, I won that race. So I'm feeling pretty confident. And so I will see you all at Texas. And thank you all. And subscribe for more content.